All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get right into this video. As you see today, it's February the 29th, 2024. And if you watched a few of the previous videos, you know that the superintendent of Wayne County Public Schools, Dr. Marc Whichard, announced a meeting that was held today at 6 p.m. at the Maxwell Center. Now, the purpose of this meeting, as he explained, was to announce his vision and his budget for the Wayne County Public Schools to make every school a better place for each child. And I'm paraphrasing the remarks from the article. So I happen to be in attendance as well as many others, and I do want to applaud and shout out those who actually attended the meeting and showed their interest in the furtherment of Wayne County Public Schools. There was a lot of people in attendance. The room was not all the way full, though. I saw, a few empty spaces, a few empty seats, but for the most part, the room was occupied at an acceptable level. Both, and it was very mixed crowd too. Both blacks and whites were in attendance, and pretty much the same capacity, the same ratio, I assume. But I must say that while Dr. Whichard is a very good speaker, he's obviously, spoken in front of crowds before. I must say I was a little disappointed in the content or the in-depthness of his effort. Now, mind you, it was probably about an hour long, if that. And during the presentation, I'm just going to go over a few points that I noticed. He had about 6 or 7, maybe 8 slides that he went over and projected, and most of his diatribe was about budgeting. Now, if you remember, at the beginning of this month, he announced that he was going to be moving students from one location to another. And before my YouTube video, I attended that meeting. And so when I left the meeting, I came home and did a video, and after that video, people started responding to what is going on. We didn't know that this move was supposed to take place. So I would like to think, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, that that initial video, which informed the public about his intentions to move and, restructure certain schools and students, that caused the public to kind of reach out or, express questions, which was the catalyst for him calling this meeting 2 weeks later. So tonight is the results of that meeting. And one thing that disappointed me is he never addressed that issue. Now, once again, and I talked to a couple of people at the meeting, and they felt the same way. They was like, well, the majority of the people were probably here wanting to talk about those issues of, students being displaced and how that's going to affect them and things. But that's one of the things that he did not talk about. And I actually asked him about it. And I'll tell you what he said later in this video. But he started off by showing this slide. I don't know if you can see it. But he brought out some stats from a reputable stat agency that he claimed that was very accurate. But he listed, some schools in, I think he said, the southeast region, which we are in. And he listed their performance in the end of grade test and the EOC. I don't know what that is. But level 3 and above, and it shows that the Wayne County Public Schools is at 3rd from the bottom. And I don't know if you guys can see that with my lighting, but as you see, Wayne County Schools is 3rd from the bottom with a 40.4 percentage rate. Now, I don't know if that's the combined grades of those who passed, or those those numbers, but it shows that where we at compared with other states. Now, he also mentioned the fact that 29% of the children who attend Wayne County public schools live in poverty. Now, that's an issue, a societal issue, but it also is an issue that affects a child's learning capacities in school. And that's one of the issues that he kind of garnered the crowd with. He got a few claps on about 3 occasions I counted, and he mentioned on that occasion where a lot of times children are coming to those schools, and they may not get a meal. They may only get a how you doing or attention and care from the people at the school, which is true in some cases. So he garnered some support with that. Another issue that he garnered some support on was the disciplinary issue. Like, we're going to set a standard where kids are not going to be running around cursing and disrespecting teachers, which of course they should not be, but that behavior is a reflection of that environment, that poverty situation. So by you being hard on discipline, which once again he got some claps on, because evidently that is concerning. Of course, it is concerning when children behave in a disrespectful or unruly manner. But once again, those behaviors are just a sign of a deeper problem, and that's with society and in schools as well. But nevertheless, and I forgot what else he got it. Okay, he focused a lot on teacher supplements. He talked about how he's going to give supplements, or he's going to ask for supplements for teachers, assistant principals, certified staff, and classified staff. He talked a lot about that, about raising the supplements for those teachers, which once again I can't deny that that teachers need supplements and things of that nature. But nothing, once again, and I told him this after the meeting, you talked a lot about the teachers, you talked a lot about the budget, but what are you going to do for the students? And I'm going to read you some of the stats, or some of the projects. Now, this one right here, if you can see it, it says Wayne County Public School completed capital projects. Now, these are completed capital projects, right? So this is pretty much what he has, I guess, requested or already done. Now I'm going to read some of these. For campus safety and security, $500,000 was spent, right? Parking lot improvements, $250,000, $250,000 was spent. Spring Creek High School bleacher replacement, $150,000. And I talked to a Spring Creek educator as well tonight. Mount Olive Middle School bleacher replacement, $100,000. Activity bus replacement, $131,000. Maintenance vehicle replacement, $160,000. Annual recoat and rescreen of gym floors, $70,000. Carver Elementary School hot water heater replacement, $45,000. Tommy's Road hot water heater replacement, $34,000. Eastern Wayne High School switch gear replacement, $125,000. Playground equipment for Fremont, $220,000. ADA wheelchair lift, $11,000. Meadow Lane bathroom modification, $58,000. Custodial operational equipment, $50,000. Miscellaneous operating nuts and bolts. Now, all of these numbers came, I think it was about $5.9 million of the budget, and the only school I see that is in the District 3 was Carver Elementary, and that is $45,000 in the hot water heater replacement. So Another thing, projected, he said projected capital needs. So I guess this is what he needs. A roofing project for Charles B. Aycock, North Wayne, Southern Wayne High School, 1.2 million. Asphalt paving, 700,000. Waste management vehicle, 350,000. Facility utilization movement costs. I guess that's how much it's going to cost to restructure all of those children. Now, he went by these. I don't think he elaborated on that, which I think, once again, most of the people were there to hear about this, restructuring. The modular movement and setup, once again, I think that is related to the Eastern Wayne project that they're going to have to move the Wayne Academy students to. And then athletic facility needs, $500,000, right? Current expense budget. And once again, Eric, that's all he talked about. You see, what I'm telling you is what was in that meeting. That this was his quote unquote vision. I think this is the last slide. He said he a $29,000 budget. This is most telling to me. Classroom supplies and materials, $135,000. Band equipment and uniforms, $150,000. Media equipment and supplies, $113,000. So that is less than $500,000 going to things that the students tangibly use. Now, if you know anything about these teachers these days, teachers always complain about the children not having enough supplies. They're having to come out of their pocket to make sure that the children have things that they need to learn. Employee supplement and benefits, almost $7,000. Once again, the teachers need to be supplemented and paid. So $7 million. District property, liability, and vehicles, $1.5 million. Small county sign-on bonus, $183,000. Transportation costs, that's from, the schools to Wayne Community College. Charter school funding, $1.8 million. Maintenance, salary, and facilities, $5.6 million. Utilities are $3 or $4 million. Now, I think at the end he said that was about $29,000 altogether was the budget. But as you see here, only a small portion of that money goes to the actual education of the students. A lot of it goes to operating, the supplements, transportation, maintenance, utilities, those things, which of course, those things are essential for a school to run. But in the totality, in the grand scheme of things, his main reason for restructuring those schools was to save the school district $750,000. Now, as you see from these numbers, $750,000 is not a lot of money concerning how much money they are spending. Like I said, they're spending only $135,000 on school supplies, which I think that should be more. But that's all Dr. Whichard talked about. So if you didn't go to the meeting, this is what you heard. Once again, it was a lot of, once again, I'm a public speaker myself, so I know how to motivate people, how to touch nerves. He brought in a story about, his grandmother and grandfather from ECU and how, they never miss a game and things of that nature. And his grandfather told them that, not everybody can make an A or B, but everybody can go to school and, behave. And everybody got to clap on that. But once again, that I know public speaking. So he did a good job, in presenting this information. But what he failed to address was probably what everybody wanted to hear was, what's going on with this restructuring of the schools and, how is this going to work? And, and so at the end, I talked to a couple of people, and once again, as I told you before, they felt the same way. Now, one of the guys said, man, he's a snake oil salesman. You know what I'm saying? He ain't say nothing. And that was my sentiments after listening to him. I'm like, what did he say? Because, a lot of like I made the last video about the parents at Edgewood, walking out. I think it was Edgewood, walking out of the meeting that he attempted. They were concerned about having their mentally disabled students at that school. So that's one thing that he did not address. And as I talked to my brother JJ Oliver, shout out to JJ Oliver, we was talking, and once again he said, well, he didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? And once again, most people like myself who can see beyond what's said realize that too. I'm not the only one who walked up to me and and people was like, had the same sentiment. What did he say? And so I said, let me go holler at Dr. Whichard, man. I know I made a few videos about him. He's probably, not too fond of me. But, I went up and shook his hand, let him know, that I was there. And, but then JJ took over. Anybody knows JJ Oliver, he went in on him. Yeah, man, what, you know what you're doing? You're putting the students in a bad position. You're not from here. The same thing I was saying. You're not from here. People who know these people, you have this vision, but we know some of these people on your staff, and they don't have the same vision. And he was just going on, and I'm paraphrasing what he's saying. So I'm not going to say verbatim, but basically he was challenging him on the fact of him knowing what's best for this district based on his past, and that's one thing. And I got to give it to Dr. Whichard. He is confident now. He is confident in what he's doing, and because Jay was like, "How you know it's gonna work?" He said, how you know that some kids are not gonna suffer at the expense of other kids?" Which I think, once again, though that is some of the sentiments as well, especially once again with the Goldsboro High School situation. And he was like, well, no, we're going to make it work. I'm sure that no kid is going to be left behind. And I'm paraphrasing as well, with the George Bush phase. I think that's who said that. But, he was very confident in his ability to make it work, regardless of, the points that Mr. Oliver was bringing up. And I just listened for a while. And I asked him, I said, well, why didn't you address, the movement of the students? Because, honestly, that's what a lot of people were here to talk about. A lot of people, have expressed concerns about that. Well, and then, once again, he hit you with the 52 fake out. Well, I go to speak to anybody who calls me out. Every organization that has called me to speak, I went and speak to them. That's not what I asked you. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you address that concern at the meeting? Nevertheless, of course, I know that there, that there is kind of no answer for that, but saving $750,000, and that's once again, all he talked about was the budget. He didn't talk about, the repercussions or the drawbacks of this plan, because we all know that some students are going to suffer because of this restructuring movement program. As I spoke with one of the teachers at the Wayne Academy, she said, he was just like, basically, you got to figure it out. How we gonna work this thing? Well, basically, you got to figure it out. That's what he told them. And I talked with another educator, and actually, this lady, she walked up to me and introduced myself. And man, I didn't know this many people watch these videos, so I'm definitely humble about it. But once again, all I want to do is spread information. But and to let people know what's going on, and what I think about what's going on, and these are my opinions from my own experiences. But the ladies expressed the same sentiments. Well, my children go to Wayne Engineering, so they're going to be fine. And she expressed they're going to be fine. Well, I'm thinking about the students at Eastern Wayne, Goldsboro, Wayne Academy, and Edgewood. Those are the students who may not be fine because of this, bold move. And, as one brother said as well, he didn't have a Q&A session where people can, ask him questions about certain issues. There was no Q&A. He spoke for about a good, like I said, an hour, went through a few slides, talked about a few budgets, gave a few, heartfelt, emotional tugs on the people's, emotions. And once again, I I do this, I study this. I've been in sales all my life, so I know, when people are selling, I won't say a dream, but they're selling you what they're planning to do. And once again, I'm not going to say if it's going to fail or not fail, but I just want to express the concerns of the people on, these moves that may seem brash, may seem uncalculated. But once again, as he told me, well, I've been working on this for, that's why I took more than a day. I took more than a month. I've been working on this for quite some time. And so, it was my first time talking to him. And of course, I get the sentiment because he's had successes in other areas. And that's one thing he talked about too. When I was in, I think he said Sand Hills or Whiteville or whatever district, they were at the bottom. When he left, they were at the top. All well and good, all well and fine, but once again, as he mentioned, data doesn't say everything. You can make data, and that's what I try to tell. You can make data say whatever you want it to say. Like, I can pull up data, that's going to say that he didn't do a good job there and those. Like, so you can pull data and manipulate numbers a lot of times to make them say what you want to. So, all in all, I think, that was, his attempt to, just placate people, getting them on board. None of the issues that was raised from when I first made the public aware, I guess, of the move to change certain schools and students to different locations. A lot of those issues, were not talked about. He kept it clean, he kept it concise. He talked about budget, numbers. Once again, teachers and supplements. Yeah, that's going to be great. That's great for the teachers, but their supplementals, once again, are taken away from, programs for the students. I don't know. Once again, I don't know how this works. That's why I'm interested in, being a part of the process. Once again, if you haven't voted District 3 Richard Taylor in the primary, hopefully we'll make it through the primary, and then, we'll be able to rev up some campaigning. But right now, it's just about figuring out what's going on, with the students. And, so I did have a talk with Dr. Whichard for the first time, and, I let him know that, some of my concerns, both personally and, with the with his plan. And, it was amicable. It was an amicable conversation, for our first time meeting. I know, once again, I know he watched these videos because so many people was walking up to me like, "Hey, Mr. Taylor." I'm like, "Sheriff Pierce." I don't, so those are the things that allow, me to continue to share information, because I know that this information is getting out there and people are concerned about, what is going on in, different aspects of this community, this Goldsboro, this Wayne County community. So, and it is a team effort. Everybody has to work together, whether it's the school board, the sheriff, the teachers, police, the community, the activists, the leaders, the preachers, everybody involved if they want to, make this town a better place. But we got to have these difficult conversations where, we see that some of the actions may not be equitable, may not be profitable, may not be beneficial for everybody involved. So we're going to see. But, one thing, like I said, it was very telling. 1.8 million was going to charter school funding. And, the big, and it's ironic that on the way to the meeting, I passed by the Goldsboro, the Wayne Academy track, in which I made the video that nobody can use now, and I saw the Wayne Engineering soccer team out there having practice. So it's definitely a focus for that. You know, that's the baby, that's the crown jewel, that's the pride and joy of Wayne County. And so, of course, that's going to receive the attention. Once again, they have the new building. They have, you know, access to grow the Wayne School of Engineering, which is all well and good, but, you know, at what expense? We saw, you know, Mount Olive Middle School getting bleacher replacements, Spring Creek getting bleacher replacements, some schools getting, you know, replaced roofs and everything like that. So, you know, we got to dump some of that money too in the inner city school, as they call it. But nevertheless, that's my synopsis of the meeting. If you missed the meeting, I'm pretty sure, because I think it was taped or televised, or, you know, it may be on the Wayne County Public School website. But go back and watch it for yourself, and you tell me what you see. You know, do you see anything of substance in what he was saying, or, you know, once again, is it just pretty much as some people will call it, a dog and pony show, you know, or smoke and mirrors, you know, whatever. But, you know, I didn't really take too much, you know, but I didn't really expect too much either, because, as my man JJ said, man, you know, they're going to do what they do, and a couple other people, they already going to do what they do anyway. You know, the decision's already been made. You know, once again, Dr. Whichard is very confident in his ability to bring districts up. Now, once again, just because you bring some statistics up, that doesn't mean everybody's improving. You know, if the Wayne School of Engineering grades go up and they're so high, but Goldsboro and Eastern Wayne grades fall, that could be offset on the schools that are rising. So that doesn't actually mean everybody is doing well. So let's make that clear. You know, that's one thing that Mr. Oliver was trying to point out to him, but, you know, he declined to even admit that was a possibility. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go, but, you know, my number 919-587-7782. If you have any information, any comments, please feel free to call me or leave them in the comments. What do y'all know? What do y'all think about that meeting that was held? Y'all let me know. Peace and blessings.